Your mind is under constant attack. Right now, a silent, invisible war is being waged against your peace, your focus, and your potential. You are being infected by toxic thoughts, negative influences, and emotional viruses that hijack your biology and sabotage your life. This is not a metaphor, this is a biological reality. Your psychology has an immune system, and right now yours is weak. It's compromised. You are spiritually sick. This book is your antidote. This is your protocol to build an unbreakable mental immune system. Stop being a passive host to the infection. Start building your psychological antibodies. Now, you feel it, don't you? That constant low-grade static in your head. The background hum of anxiety that follows you to work. The spike of irrational anger at a minor comment. The heavy, suffocating blanket of apathy that makes even getting off the couch feel like a monumental task. You've been told it's stress. You've been told to meditate it away, to breathe, to journal. That's like taking an aspirin for a brain tumor. It's not working because you're treating the symptoms and ignoring the disease. Let's be brutally honest. Your mind is sick. It's under attack. And you've been lying there, taking the beating, wondering why you feel so weak. The first step to strength, the first step to power, is not fighting back. It's opening your eyes and identifying the enemy. You cannot win a war you're too afraid to name. This is where your recovery begins. This is Chapter 1. Diagnose the infection. Think of your mind as a fortress. It was built to be strong, resilient, self-sufficient. But right now, the gates are compromised. The enemy is inside the walls. And they're not just looting the place. They've moved in, they're redecorating, and they're telling you it's for your own good. Your feelings of weakness, of confusion, of being lost, that's not you. That's the symptom of the infection. Your first and most critical job is to diagnose it, to identify the psychological pathogens that have made a home in your head. We're going to break this down into 3 primary viruses. These are the invaders you need to hunt. First, the thought virus. This is the internal enemy. It's the silent, looping monologue that tells you you're not good enough, that you're going to fail, that you shouldn't even bother. It's the voice that takes a single setback and writes the entire story of your defeat. I didn't get that promotion. See, I'm a fraud. I'm not cut out for this. The thought virus replicates in the dark. It feeds on your inattention. It's not about truth. It's about repetition. And every time you listen, you give it more processing power. You have a choice. You can let that virus run your internal software, or you can quarantine it. Second, the influence virus. This is the external enemy wearing a friendly face. It's the friend who drains you with every conversation, who subtly undermines your ambitions. It's the family member who holds you to the old, weak version of yourself. It's the endless scroll through social media, a highlight reel of other people's lives designed to make you feel inadequate. These influences are toxic. They are psychological parasites. And you've been donating your mental energy to them, day after day. You don't need their permission to protect your peace. You don't need their approval to build a life of discipline. Third, the context virus. This is the environment you operate in. It's the draining office with its toxic gossip. It's your messy, disorganized apartment that saps your will before you even start your day. It's the constant, chaotic noise of the city, or the soul-crushing isolation of a remote town. Your environment is not a neutral backdrop. It's an active player in your psychological state. A cluttered room is a cluttered mind. A draining environment is a draining life. That's the key. You must see your surroundings not as something that happens to you, but as something you have a responsibility to control. Now you're probably sitting there, feeling all of this. The anxiety, the anger, the apathy. And you've been taught to see these as problems, to suppress them, to drug them, to run from them. Stop. That's a fatal error. Your negative emotions are not the problem. They are the fever. They are the red warning lights on your dashboard, screaming that an invader is present. Your psychological immune system is fighting, and these emotions are the heat it generates. Your job is not to shut off the alarm. Your job is to read the gauges. Anger is a signal. It's a boundary that has been crossed. It's a value that has been violated. Your anger is telling you, this is not acceptable. The infection wants you to either explode with it or repress it. Discipline teaches you to listen to it, to decode its message. Anxiety is a signal. It's your mind projecting a future threat. Often it's a distorted projection, a worst-case scenario. But at its core, It's a signal that you feel unprepared, out of control. The infection wants you to spiral into panic. Discipline teaches you to use that anxiety as a checklist. What can you actually control? What can you prepare for? Apathy is a signal. It's not laziness. It's your mind's final defense mechanism. When the thought virus and the influence virus have become too much, your system shuts down to prevent total burnout. It's a circuit breaker. It's telling you that the current path is unsustainable. The infection wants you to believe you're just broken. Discipline teaches you to see apathy as a mandate for radical change. You have a choice. You can continue to be a passive host to these viruses, or you can become the surgeon who cuts them out. And surgery requires a precise diagnosis. Talking about it in vague terms is worthless. We need concrete, undeniable evidence. We need a personal audit. This is not a time for comfort. This is a time for brutal, unflinching honesty. You are going to conduct a personal audit. Right now, get a pen, get a piece of paper, or open a notes app. This is your first act of war. You cannot fight an enemy you refuse to name. I want you to list 3 things. No excuses. No, I'll do it later. Do it as you listen. First, your top 5 recurring toxic thoughts. These are the thought viruses on repeat. Be specific. Is it I'm not smart enough? I'll always be alone. Everyone is ahead of me? Write down the exact sentences your mind uses against you. Seeing them on paper robs them of their power. It externalizes the infection. Second, your top 3 draining influences. Name the people. It could be a coworker, a friend, a family member. If you're brave, include the toxic media sources. The Instagram account that makes you feel like garbage. The news channel that fuels your rage and helplessness. Name them. You are not blaming them. You are identifying the sources of the influence virus. You don't need their permission to build a stronger you. Third, the one environment that consistently weakens you. Is it your office? Your childhood home? Your own bedroom because it's a disaster? Name the place. Identify the context virus. This audit is your foundation. It is the map of the battlefield. This single act of diagnosis is more powerful than 1,000 hours of meditation done with a vague intention. This is specific. This is targeted. This is real. You have now done what 99% of people are too afraid to do. You have looked the infection in the eye and called it by its name. The thought virus, the influence virus, the context virus. They are no longer vague feelings. They are items on a list. They are problems to be solved. And a problem that is clearly defined is already half solved. You have diagnosed the infection. You have named the enemy. This is where your power begins. But a diagnosis is not a cure. Knowing the virus is present is useless if you don't develop the antibodies to fight it. You've mastered the first step of awareness. Now let's build the weapon that will make you immune. You've made the decision. You've declared war on the weaker version of yourself. You've accepted the fundamental truth. Your life is the sum of your choices. But here's where most people fail. They try to build a fortress while the enemy is already inside the walls. They try to get stronger while they're still being poisoned, slowly, methodically, every single day. That ends now. This chapter is not a suggestion. It's a surgical procedure. We are going to cut out the infection. We are going to talk about the poison you're ingesting through your eyes and your ears and the non-negotiable discipline of stopping. You have a choice. You can continue to consume the digital, social, and environmental toxins that keep you weak, anxious, and compliant. Or you can choose to become the guardian of your own mind. That's the key. The quality of your life is directly determined by the quality of the information you let past the gate. Let's begin the quarantine. 0.30, 3 allow. Quarantine toxic inputs. Think about the last time you had a serious flu. What was the first thing you did? You rested. You drank water. You stopped pouring junk food and stress into your body. You gave your immune system a fighting chance. Your mind has an immune system too. And right now, yours is under constant attack. It's being bombarded by a pathogen, a virus of fear, complaint, outrage, and mediocrity. It's in your social media feed. It's in the 24/7 news cycle designed to keep you terrified and glued to the screen. It's in the conversations with colleagues who do nothing but complain. It's the background noise of your life. You cannot build mental and emotional immunity while you are constantly reinfecting yourself. It is impossible. You will never win the inner war if you are constantly supplying the enemy with ammunition. This is why you need a mandatory digital detox. This isn't some trendy self-care buzzword. This is a tactical maneuver. This is a life-or-death medical protocol for your psyche. You must, starting today, radically curate your information diet. What does that look like in practice? It means you don't start your day by checking the news. You don't scroll through social media in your first waking hour, inviting the world's chaos and comparison into your head before you've even built your own foundation for the day. It means you stop listening to podcasts that fuel your outrage. It means you stop giving your time to people whose only currency is negativity. You have a choice. You can choose to click, to scroll, to listen, or you can choose to protect your focus. It's not about avoiding reality. It's about choosing which reality you feed your brain. Your brain is the most valuable asset you possess. Start treating it that way. Guard it with your life. 3. 6. Gaia. The art of the unfollow. Now I can hear the objections. But I need to stay informed. But he's my friend. I have to listen to him. But I might miss something. No. That's the voice of the disease arguing for its own survival. Let's get surgical. You need to master the art of the unfollow. The mute button, the block button. This is not a social act. It is a prophylactic act, a preventative measure. It's not personal, it's protective. Your attention is the gateway through which infection enters. Every time you linger on a post from someone who makes you feel inadequate, you are letting in a pathogen. Every time you engage with a comment thread full of anonymous anger, you are breathing in a toxic fume. Every time you endure a conversation with a friend who drains your energy and belittles your ambitions, you are drinking from a poisoned well. You don't need their permission to protect yourself. Go through your social media feeds right now, not later, today, and conduct a ruthless audit. Ask one simple question about every account, every person, every source of content. Does this make me stronger or does it make me weaker? Does this fill me with focus and possibility or with fear and frustration? If it's the latter, you hit unfollow. You hit mute. You hit block. You don't write a thesis about it. You don't announce your departure. You just leave. You are the curator of the museum of your mind, and you are removing the exhibits that no longer serve the mission. That's the key. You are not being rude. You are being responsible. Your future self, the powerful, disciplined person you are building, does not have time for that nonsense. Act as if you are that person already. This extends to real life. You must become a master of the polite but firm exit. The conversation turns toxic. You have somewhere to be. The group is complaining. You have a project to work on. You are not being arrogant. You are enforcing a boundary. Your attention is your life. You must guard it with your life. Create a sterile environment. The final piece of this protocol is your physical space. You cannot have a clean mind in a chaotic environment. It's that simple. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world, and it works both ways. A chaotic, cluttered, disordered space is a petri dish for mental pathogens. It breeds procrastination, anxiety, and a lack of clarity. Your physical space must become a clean room for your mind. What is a clean room? It's a sterile environment used in science and manufacturing, where contaminants are controlled to allow for precision work. That is what you are doing now. The most important work you will ever do is the work on yourself. And you cannot do precise, disciplined work in a mess. This means you declutter your home. You organize your workspace. You control your sensory inputs. Start with your bedroom. Is it a place of rest and recovery, or is it a storage unit for your indecision? Make your bed. Clear the floors. Put things away. Your bedroom should be a sanctuary, a place that signals to your nervous system. Here, you can rest. Here, you are safe. Move to your workspace. Is it set up for focus or for distraction? Is the lighting good? Is it free from clutter? The pile of unpaid bills on your desk is not just paper, it's a mental weight. The stack of unfinished projects is not just a to-do list, it's a monument to your lack of discipline. Clean it. Organize it. Control it. This is not about being a neat freak. This is about being a discipline freak. It's about removing every single unnecessary decision and distraction from your environment so that all of your mental energy can be directed toward your mission. A clear space creates a clear mind. A sterile environment allows the strong, focused, disciplined version of you to grow without being choked out by the weeds of chaos. You have a choice. You can live in the mess, or you can build a fortress. The choice is yours. Conclusion and transition. So let's be clear. You cannot blame the world for your anxiety if you are voluntarily consuming anxiety-inducing content every morning. You cannot complain about a lack of focus if you have not surgically removed the sources of your distraction. You cannot build a disciplined mind in a disordered environment. It's not about the poison out there. It's about the discipline in here to shut it out. You have a choice. You are the guardian of the gate. From this moment forward, what you let in is your responsibility. You've quarantined the poison and sterilized your environment. Now you have silence. And in that silence, you will hear the most dangerous voice of all. Your own. It's time to master it. You've located the enemy. You've seen the weak points in your own mind. Good. Awareness is the first step. But awareness without defense is just target practice for the world. Your doubt, your anxiety, your fear, they're like viruses. They look for a weak immune system to invade, a host that will let them replicate, spread, and eventually shut the whole system down. Most people are walking around with compromised mental immune systems. They catch a case of someone else's bad mood. They get infected by a critical comment. They succumb to the fever of external chaos. And they're sick all the time. Sick with worry, sick with fear, sick with indecision. That ends now. It's time to build your psychological antibodies. You are going to become immune to the petty infections that derail weak men. This isn't about avoiding the world. It's about building such a powerful internal defense system that the world's chaos simply cannot take root inside you. You have a choice. Be a host for every passing virus or become a fortress. 0.30, 245. Craft your immunity affirmations. Let's get one thing straight, right now. We are not talking about positive thinking. Positive thinking is a flimsy shield. It's telling yourself I'm happy while your life is falling apart. It's a lie you whisper that gets shouted down by the first piece of bad news. I'm not interested in lies. I'm interested in fortification. What we are building are immunity affirmations. These are not feel-good phrases. These are cognitive antibodies. They are short, potent, and undeniable statements of truth that you drill into your subconscious until they become an automatic, neutralizing response to any mental threat. Think of it like this. When a virus enters your body, your immune system doesn't have a committee meeting. It doesn't debate the merits of the virus. It immediately dispatches specialized cells to surround it, neutralize it, and destroy it. That's what these affirmations are. They are your specialized mental defense cells. You need to craft your own. They must be undeniable to you. They must be rooted in a core value you are committed to defending. For example, my peace is non-negotiable. Say that out loud. My peace is non-negotiable. That's not a wish. That's a law you are laying down for your own mind. When a situation arises that threatens to steal your peace, that statement fires automatically. It's not a debate. It's a command. Your peace is not up for discussion. That's the key. Another. My focus is immune to distraction. Not I'll try to focus. Not I hope I'm not distracted. Immune. It means distractions bounce off. They don't penetrate. They are recognized and eliminated. You don't need their permission, the notifications, the noises, the interruptions, to control your attention. You have taken back control. You drill these in the morning as you look in the mirror, in the car, on the way to work. You say them with conviction until your entire nervous system believes them. This is the repetitive, daily work. This is the discipline of building your defense. It's not about feeling strong. It's about programming strength. You have a choice. Let every external event dictate your internal state or install a firewall. Build your antibodies. Forge a locus of control. There is one virus more deadly than all others. It's highly contagious, it's socially acceptable, and it's a complete and total lie. It's the virus of victimhood. It's the belief that your internal state is someone else's fault. Your boss made you angry. The traffic made you stressed. Your past made you broken. This is the greatest weakness a man can possess. It is the surrender of all your power, and you must inoculate yourself against it with a single, unshakable belief, radical personal accountability. This is what psychologists call an internal locus of control. The locus, the center of control for your life, is inside you, not out there, inside. The ultimate psychological antibody is the understanding that your internal state is your responsibility. Full stop, no exceptions. Stop blaming external events. The event is neutral. It's your response that defines you. The traffic isn't stressful. Your reaction to the traffic is stressful. The criticism isn't painful. Your interpretation of the criticism is painful. You are always responding. The question is, are you responding from a place of ownership or from a place of victimhood? When you blame, you hand over the keys to your mind. You are saying, "Here, you control how I feel." That's a choice, a weak choice. You have a choice to take that power back. You don't need their permission to be at peace. You don't need the world to be perfect for you to be focused. It's not about your circumstances, it's about your discipline. The discipline of owning your reality, 100%, this is the core of the unbreakable mind. It's the realization that no one and nothing can make you feel anything without your consent. You are the final authority. Forge this locus of control. Make it the bedrock of everything you do. It's not about fairness, it's about power. Your power. Practice conscious exposure. You don't build a strong immune system by living in a sterile bubble. You build it by being exposed to germs. Your body encounters a pathogen, it learns to fight it, and it develops a memory so it can defeat it faster and more efficiently next time. That's the principle of a vaccine. A small controlled exposure builds lifelong immunity. Your mind works the exact same way. You don't build resilience by avoiding discomfort. You build it by seeking out small, controlled doses of challenge. This is the practice of conscious exposure. You are intentionally exposing yourself to difficulty to build stronger psychological defenses. This is the repetitive, daily work of choosing discipline over ease. It's facing small fears to build resilience against larger ones. What does this look like? It's choosing the hard conversation instead of avoiding it. It's taking the cold shower instead of the warm one. It's turning off the distractions and sitting with your own thoughts for 10 minutes. It's holding your tongue when you want to lash out. It's taking on a project that slightly scares you. Each one of these acts is a vaccine shot for your mind. You are injecting a small, manageable amount of stress, and in doing so, you are teaching your system. I can handle this. I am stronger than this discomfort. You are building a library of evidence against your own doubt. When the big fear comes, the financial crisis, the major loss, the real failure, your mind won't go into total shock. It will reference its memory. It will remember all the small battles you've already won. It will recall the feeling of facing discomfort and coming out the other side. And it will know, on a cellular level, that you can handle this too. That's the key. You are programming resilience through action. You don't need their permission to be strong. You grant it to yourself through these daily acts of conscious exposure. It's not about being fearless. It's about building the discipline to act despite the fear. Conclusion, your mind is no longer a passive recipient of whatever the world throws at it. It is an active, fortified system. You have your immunity affirmations, your rapid response team against doubt. You have your locus of control, the unshakable command center that accepts no excuses. And you have conscious exposure, your daily training regimen that builds strength through stress. You have built your psychological antibodies. The chaos, the negativity, the doubt, they will still come, but they will no longer find a home within you. They will be recognized, neutralized, and expelled. You are now immune to the petty infections that plague the weak, but a fortress, while strong, can become a prison if it never engages with the world. Defense is only half the battle. Now it's time to go on the offensive. It's time to master the art of projecting your will without saying a word. Let's get one thing straight. You are not a public park. You are a sovereign nation. And right now, I'm willing to bet your borders are Swiss cheese. People waltz in, take what they want, leave their trash, and you're left paying the cleanup bill. That ends today. Your sanity, your focus, your energy, this is your territory. And it's time you started defending it like it's the most valuable land on earth, because it is. This chapter is not about being rude. It's not about being cold. This is about survival in a world that is constantly trying to colonize your attention. We're going to build your inner perimeter, a fortress of discipline that protects what matters most. You, your boundaries, are your border control. Think of your personal boundaries as your border control, non-negotiable, clearly marked, and enforced with zero apology. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow, what you tolerate. Every time you let someone interrupt your deep work for a quick question, you've issued them a visa to your focus. Every time you listen to gossip or negativity you don't have the bandwidth for, you've allowed an emotional refugee to camp out in your head. A weak boundary is an open border for emotional vampires and energy thieves, and they will drain you dry, then complain about the service. You think boundaries are walls that keep people out? Wrong. They are the gates that let the right people in, under the right conditions. They are the rules of engagement for your life. Without them, you are in a constant state of low-grade civil war. Your energy is scattered. Your focus is fragmented. You're trying to build a legacy while constantly putting out fires started by other people. So, what's the first rule of border control? You have to post the signs. You have to communicate the rules. I don't take calls after 6 p.m. I need 24 hours notice for a meeting. I don't discuss that topic. Say it, clearly, calmly, once. But here's the key. The crucial part you always miss. The boundary is not the statement. The boundary is the enforcement. Anyone can say the words. The discipline is in the follow-through. If you say no calls after 6 p.m. and you pick up at 7:03, you have just erased your own border. You've shown them your rules are negotiable. You've taught them that their emergency is more important than your peace. You have a choice. You can enforce your boundaries, or you can be a victim of other people's chaos. That's the key. The enforcement is the discipline, the power of no as a neutralizer. Let's talk about your most underused weapon. A simple 2-letter word that you've been taught is negative, rude, selfish. I'm here to reprogram that thinking. No is not a negative word. No is your primary immune response. It is the antibody that neutralizes the requests, demands, and distractions that would infect your time and focus. Every yes you say to something that doesn't serve your mission is a no to your own priorities. Say that again. Every yes to them is a no to you. You're saying no to your workout, no to your project, no to your family, no to your sanity. You're sacrificing your sovereignty on the altar of being liked. I want you to reframe no. See it as a declaration of integrity. When you say no to a last-minute demand that would wreck your evening, you are saying yes to your commitment to your own rest. When you say no to a project that doesn't align with your goals, you are saying yes to the ones that do. No is the scalpel you use to cut away the cancerous growth of other people's agendas, and you must learn to say it cleanly. No long rambling justifications. Justifications are just invitations to negotiate. You don't need their permission to protect your time. A clean, clear, no, I can't commit to that, or no, that doesn't work for me, is a complete sentence. You don't owe them a story. You don't need to prove your case. Say it clearly. Say it often. Say it without guilt. The guilt is the old programming, the people-pleasing software running in the background. Recognize it for what it is, a weakness, a flaw in your operating system. The discipline is to feel the guilt and say no anyway. That's the key. It's not about avoiding the uncomfortable feeling. It's about choosing your priorities over your discomfort. You have a choice. Succumb to the guilt and betray yourself, or feel the guilt and uphold your boundary. That is the discipline of no. Become emotionally opaque. Finally, we come to the most subtle, but most critical part of your defense. Your emotional perimeter. Most people are emotionally transparent. They broadcast their insecurities, their fears, their frustrations to anyone who will listen. They offer up their vulnerabilities like free samples at a grocery store. This is a catastrophic strategic error. Not everyone needs or deserves access to your inner world. Your doubts, your struggles, your raw ambitions, this is classified information. Guard your emotional data as a state secret. Transparency with the wrong person is a critical security breach. That friend you complain to? They might be storing that ammunition for later. The co-worker you confide in about your ambition? They might see you as a threat. The partner you endlessly rehash your insecurities with? They may grow weary of the burden. This isn't about becoming a stone-cold robot. It's about discernment. It's about strategic intimacy. There is a profound difference between sharing a vulnerability with a trusted ally to deepen a connection and dumping your emotional baggage on someone because you lack the internal fortitude to carry it yourself. One builds bonds. The other repels people and makes you look weak. You must become emotionally opaque. Let people see what you choose to show them. Your calm exterior, your determined focus, your unshakable resolve. Your inner turmoil, your fears, your moments of weakness, that is for your journal. For your therapist, for the one or two people in your life who have proven, through consistent action, that they are a safe vault for your truth. When you stop offering your vulnerabilities to those who haven't earned the privilege, you reclaim an immense amount of power. You stop seeking validation from the outside. You stop giving others the map to your triggers. You become a mystery, a force, unreadable and therefore unmanipulatable. You don't need their permission to feel what you feel, but you also don't need to give them the keys to the kingdom. That's the key. Guarding your emotional state is the ultimate discipline of self-preservation. Your inner perimeter is now fortified. Your borders are defined. Your immune system of no is activated. Your emotional data is under lock and key. This isn't a one-time fix. This is a daily practice of vigilance and discipline. You are the guardian of your own peace. Act like it. You've secured your territory. But a fortress can become a prison if you don't control the noise within. It's time to master the space between your ears. Listen up. We're about to perform surgery. Not on your body, but on your mind. We're going to cut out a cancer that you probably don't even recognize is there. It's a mental parasite that feeds on your focus, drains your energy, and keeps you perpetually in the role of the victim. This is the complainant virus, and you are infected. You complain about your boss. You complain about the traffic. You complain about the price of coffee, the weather, your partner, your Wi-Fi signal. You think it's just blowing off steam. You're wrong. You are actively rehearsing your own helplessness. Every time you complain, you are casting a vote for your own powerlessness. That ends now. This chapter is your antivirus software. We are going to identify the infection, understand its toxic mechanism, and install a zero-tolerance policy. This isn't about becoming a blissful, ignorant optimist. This is about becoming a ruthless, effective operator. Your mind is a command center, not a complaint department. It's time to start acting like it. Complaint is inflammation. Let's get biological about this. In your body, when you get injured, it releases inflammatory chemicals. Their job is to signal for help, to wall off the problem. But when that inflammation becomes chronic, it stops protecting you and starts attacking you. It weakens your tissues, destroys your joints, and makes you sick. Complaint is the exact same thing in your psychological bloodstream. Every complaint is an inflammatory cytokine released directly into your mental operating system. It doesn't solve the problem. It just signals to your entire being that you are under attack, that you are a victim of circumstance. This shouldn't be happening to me. That single thought is poison. Think about the last time you spent 10 minutes really complaining about something. How did you feel afterwards? Energized? Focused? Ready to conquer the world? No, you felt drained, weaker, more aggrieved. That's the inflammation spreading. You have just told your brain, I am not in control here. The world is doing this to me. That's the key. You are telling yourself a story of helplessness, and your brain believes you. It starts to rewire itself to find more things to be helpless about. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of misery and inaction. You are conditioning yourself to see problems as permanent, pervasive, and personal. That's a death sentence for your ambition. You have a choice. You can continue to inject this inflammatory toxin into your own mind, or you can see it for what it is, the number one indicator that you have abdicated your power. It's not about the thing you're complaining about. It's about your refusal to take command. You don't need the world's permission to stop poisoning yourself. The solution-seeking switch. So what's the alternative? You don't just sit there and suffer in silence. That's just another form of complaint, internalized. The answer is not suppression. The answer is replacement. You must perform a cognitive hijacking. You must rewire your brain's default response from "this is wrong" to "what is the move?" This is the solution-seeking switch, and it's a physical, neural pathway you have to build from scratch. Right now, the complaint pathway is a 10-lane superhighway. The solution pathway is a dirt trail. Your job is to reverse that. And you do it one thought at a time. The moment you feel the complaint forming on your lips or in your mind, the moment you think, "this traffic is unbelievable," that is your cue. That is the trigger. You catch it. You acknowledge it. And you immediately pivot. You flip the switch. You ask, what is the move? The solution is the antibody. The action is the cure, stuck in traffic. The complaint is, "this is ruining my day." The solution-seeking switch asks, what is the move? The move is to call and let someone know you'll be late. The move is to put on an educational podcast. The move is to use the quiet time to think through a problem you've been avoiding. The move is to accept it and practice patience. Frustrated with your boss? The complaint is, "he's a micromanaging jerk." The solution-seeking switch asks, what is the move? The move is to schedule a conversation to clarify expectations. The move is to become so proactive he doesn't feel the need to check on you. The move is to update him before he has to ask. The move is, if it's truly intolerable, to update your resume and start looking for a new job. You see the difference? One is passive. The other is active. One gives your power away. The other reclaims it. This is a switch you must flip 1,000 times a day. In the grocery line, on a customer service call, when your project hits a snag. "This is wrong" is a dead end. What is the move? Is the on-ramp to your personal power. That's the key. The action itself is secondary. The primary victory is the act of switching your brain from victim mode to commander mode. Implement a zero-tolerance policy, understanding this is not enough. You need a protocol, a ruthless, non-negotiable personal policy. As of right now, you are declaring a permanent ban on complaint without action. This is a zero-tolerance policy. You are the warden of your own mind, and complaint is the contraband. You will catch it, you will confiscate it, and you will replace it with a constructive move. This isn't about positivity. It's about power. Toxic positivity says, "just be happy it's raining." That's delusional. Your new protocol says, "it's raining. My complaint is that it will ruin my outdoor plans." What is the move? The move is to move my workout indoors, or to put on a raincoat and go for a run anyway. You acknowledge the reality without surrendering to the grievance. You will hold yourself accountable. Every single time. This is the discipline. It's exhausting at first. It feels unnatural. That's because you're building a new muscle. The muscle of command. Your mind is a command center. From this moment forward, only mission-critical communications are allowed. Situation reports, resource allocation, strategic analysis. Complaints are static. They are jamming the signal. They are a violation of your own operational security. You would never allow a subordinate to constantly whine in your command center without proposing a next step. Stop allowing it in yourself. You have a choice. You can live in the inflamed, weakened state of the chronic complainant, or you can become the clear-headed, solution-focused commander of your life. The switch is yours to flip. The policy is yours to enforce. You don't need their permission to take back control. It's not about stopping negative thoughts. It's about initiating corrective action. Transition, you've just installed the mental antivirus. You've declared a permanent ban on helplessness. But a quiet command center can be a dangerous place if the wrong internal conversations start to echo. To wield true power, you must master what you say, and more importantly, what you don't. You've been building your inner citadel. You're learning to stand your ground. But there's a problem, a massive one. Because while you're building your walls during the day, a silent enemy is tunneling in every night. It's poisoning your well. It's whispering lies into your ear while you sleep. This enemy is your digital environment. Your phone isn't a tool. Not right now. Right now, it's a weapon pointed directly at your psyche. And you're handing it to your enemies, to the algorithms, to the chaos, and you're saying, "Here, have at it." That stops today. This chapter is your digital declaration of war. This is where you take back control. Your feed is your food. Let's get one thing straight. The content you consume is not entertainment. It's not background noise. It is your primary source of mental nutrition. Or it's your mental poisoning. You are what you scroll. Think about your physical body. If you ate fast food, candy, and poison for every meal, what would happen? You'd get sick. You'd become weak, sluggish, diseased. Your mind is no different. A diet of outrage, of curated highlight reels, of political venom, of trivial gossip. That is the fast food of the mind. It's designed to be addictive, to give you a quick hit, and to leave you malnourished and craving more. And you're feasting. You're gorging yourself on this garbage. You're consuming the fears, the anxieties, and the insecurities of thousands of other people, and you're wondering why you feel so heavy, why you lack clarity, why you can't focus. It's because you have psychological obesity. Your mind is clogged with the fat of other people's opinions. You have a choice. You can continue to consume this poison and wonder why you're sick, or you can choose a different diet. That's the key. It's a conscious, deliberate choice. You don't need their permission to hit unfollow. You don't need their validation to log off. This isn't about deleting your life online. It's about taking radical responsibility for what you let into your mind. Algorithmic hijacking is a hostile takeover now, you might think. I'm strong. I can handle it. I just scroll past the bad stuff. No, you're wrong. This isn't a fair fight. You are not up against a passive feed. You are up against a multi-billion-dollar engineering operation designed to do one thing: own your attention. Social media algorithms are not neutral. They are predatory. They are engineered to exploit your deepest vulnerabilities for engagement. They find your insecurities, your fears, your tribal loyalties, and they feed them back to you. They inject tailored pathogens directly into your psyche. You had a bad day? The algorithm notices you're lingering on negative content. It serves you more. You feel a flicker of jealousy? It shows you more lavish lifestyles, more perfect bodies. You feel a spark of political anger. It funnels you into a vortex of pure outrage. It's a sick game. And you are the puppet. Your emotions are the strings. But here is the cold, hard truth. You are volunteering for this. Every time you mindlessly open that app, you are signing up for the hijacking. You are allowing a machine to manipulate your emotional state. You're handing over the keys to your own mind. It's not about willpower. It's about strategy. It's about discipline. You don't beat the algorithm by fighting it head-on. You beat it by refusing to play its game. You take back control of the input. You don't need their permission to be manipulated. You have a choice. You can starve the beast. Perform a digital scrub, the protocol enough diagnosis. It's time for surgery. It's time for a digital scrub. This isn't a gentle cleaning. This is a hostile takeover of your own feed. You are the commander now. Your digital environment must become a source of strength, a drip feed of inspiration, truth, and skill. Not a sewer of negativity. Here is your step-by-step protocol. Do this today. Step 1, the ruthless audit. Open your primary social media app. Go to your feed. Scroll for 60 seconds. I want you to judge every single piece of content not as interesting or funny, but with one question. Does this make me stronger, or does it make me weaker? Does it inspire action, or does it promote outrage? Does it teach me something, or does it make me anxious? Does it align with the person I am building, or the person I am leaving behind? Be brutally honest. No excuses. Step 2, the unfollow protocol. Now you purge. That account that constantly posts political rage bait. Unfollow. That influencer whose perfect life just makes you feel inadequate? Unfollow. That meme page that kills an hour of your productivity? Unfollow. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to explain. This is not a social act. This is a tactical one. You are clearing the field of enemy combatants. You don't need their permission to protect your peace. Step 3, the strategic rebuild. You've cleared out the garbage. Now you plant the seeds. Actively search for and follow accounts that serve your mission. Find historians, philosophers, masters of your craft, scientists, artists. Follow people who are building things, creating things, teaching things. Your feed should be a university, not a circus. Cure it for inspiration, for knowledge, for quiet strength. This is the drip feed that will build your mental immunity. Step 4. The aggressive default. Change your phone's home screen. Move the social media apps off of it. Put them in a folder on the last page. Better yet, delete the apps and only use the browser version, which is more cumbersome. The goal is to break the muscle memory, the unconscious thumb tap that opens the door to the hijacking. Make your default screen your notes app, your podcast app, your audiobook app. Your phone must become a tool for building, not for escaping. Conclusion. Your mind is a sacred space. It is the command center of your entire life. You would not let a hostile army set up camp in your living room. So why are you letting one occupy your mind? Detoxing your digital environment is not a one-time event. It's a new discipline. It's the daily practice of guarding your gates. It's the conscious choice to consume what strengthens you and reject what weakens you. That's the key. You have a choice. You've cleansed your mind of the digital poison. You've taken back control of what you see and hear. Now let's talk about what you choose to say and the immense power of what you don't. You've built the internal fortitude. You've learned to master your focus and control your reactions. But there's a force, an invisible current, that can undermine all of it. It's the people you let get close. The ones you call your inner circle. Listen to me and listen clearly. You can do everything right in your own mind and still fail. You can build the perfect morning routine, practice stoic meditation, and have unshakable discipline, and one conversation with the wrong person can poison the well. Your mental immunity isn't just an individual sport. It's a team effort. And if your team is weak, you will be weak. This isn't about being a loner. This is about being strategic. This is about understanding that your environment is either building you up or tearing you down. There is no neutral, so let's get to work. Let's talk about the people in your life. Your network determines your net immunity. You've heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's cliché because it's true. But we need to take it further. This isn't about their income or their job title. It's about their mental hygiene. Their mental state is contagious. Their cynicism, their constant drama, their victim mentality, their lack of discipline. It's a virus. And you, trying to build a strong, resilient mind, are trying to stay healthy. But you cannot be mentally immune while voluntarily sleeping next to the plague. You just can't. Every time you listen to a friend's endless complaining without seeking a solution, you're inhaling their germs. Every time you entertain gossip, you're letting a parasite into your system. Every time you justify someone's toxic behavior because that's just how they are, you're compromising your own immune system. That's the key. Your net immunity, your total resistance to the bullshit of life, is a direct average of the people you're closest to. If they are mentally sloppy, you are fighting an uphill battle. If they are mentally disciplined, they become a source of strength. You have a choice. You have a choice right now about who gets access to you. You don't need their permission to protect your peace. Identify symbiotic versus parasitic relationships. So how do you audit your inner circle? You need a new framework. Stop thinking in terms of friends and enemies. Start thinking in biological terms, symbiotic and parasitic. A symbiotic relationship is mutually beneficial. You give and they give. You have a win, and they are genuinely happy for you. They have a problem, and you offer support that empowers them, not pity that enables them. You leave the interaction feeling energized, focused, and stronger. These relationships are clean. They are based on respect and a shared commitment to growth. That's the key. Then, there are the parasitic relationships. The drainers. You know who they are? Every interaction leaves you feeling depleted, agitated, or cynical. They feed on your time, your energy, and your optimism. Their problems are always someone else's fault. Their drama is a bottomless pit. They don't want solutions. They want an audience for their suffering. You must have the courage to remove the parasites. This is not cruel. It is critical care. Surgical removal is not an act of hate. It's an act of survival. You are not a charity for broken adults. You are a fortress under construction. You cannot allow termites to chew on your foundation because you feel sorry for them. You have a choice. You can continue to be drained, to have your precious focus and energy siphoned away, or you can cut the cord. You don't need to have a dramatic confrontation. You simply stop feeding the parasite. You become less available. You stop engaging in the gossip cycles. You set a firm boundary. You protect your peace. It's not about them. It's about your discipline to protect what you are building. Become a carrier of strength. Now, here's the most powerful part of this entire process. As you start to build your own immunity, as you become more disciplined, more focused, and more at peace, something incredible happens. You stop attracting parasites. You become repellent to them. Their drama can't find a host in you. More importantly, you become a carrier of strength. You start to emit a different frequency. Your calm is contagious. Your resolve is magnetic. You will naturally begin to attract and build relationships with other strong, mentally immune individuals. You will find your tribe of high-functioning hosts. These are the people you can call when you're facing a real challenge. They won't coddle you. They'll challenge you. They'll ask the hard questions. They'll reflect your own strength back at you. This is the ultimate symbiotic network, a collective of individuals who make each other stronger, sharper, and more resilient. This is the inner circle you are building. One relationship at a time. You don't need their permission to become this person. You simply have to choose it. You have to choose yourself. You have to choose your peace. You have to choose your mission. And you have to surround yourself with people who are on the same path. Conclusion: your inner circle is not a passive accident. It is an active construction. It is a reflection of the standards you hold for yourself. A weak circle means you have tolerated weakness. A strong, symbiotic circle means you have committed to strength. You have a choice. Audit your relationships. Remove the parasites. Invest in the symbiosis. Your net immunity depends on it. You've fortified your inner world and your outer circle. Now it's time to master the one force that can amplify all of it or destroy it. Let's talk about your most undervalued asset. You feel it, don't you? That low-grade hum of anxiety, the background noise of resentment, the flicker of self-doubt when a challenge arises. You've tried to fight it. You've read the books. You've set the big, audacious goals. And yet, it's still there. Why? Because you're treating a chronic condition with a one-time pill. You're trying to cure a constant infection with a single massive effort. It doesn't work. Immunity is not an event. It's a process. A daily, non-negotiable, boring, beautiful process. This chapter is not about motivation. It's not about passion. It's about the prescription. It's about writing yourself a regimen for an unbreakable mind and then following it with the precision of a surgeon. This is where we stop talking about the wall and start laying the bricks, one by one, every single day. This is the discipline of discipline. Discipline is the regimen. Listen to me. Your morning routine, your work habits, your evening wind down, these are not lifestyle choices. They are not suggestions for a better you. They are the non-negotiable doses of medicine that keep the infection at bay. Think of every negative thought, every external criticism, every moment of fear as a pathogen. A virus. It's constantly trying to get in. You can't stop it from existing. But you can build a system so robust, so resilient, that it simply cannot take hold. Your discipline is that system. Waking up at the same time, even when you're tired, that's a dose of antivirus. Doing your most important work first, before the world can interrupt you, that's a booster shot against procrastination. Shutting off the screens and allowing your mind to quiet before bed, that's you sanitizing the mental environment. You don't wait until you're sick to take the medicine. You take the medicine to stay well. That's the key. You are the doctor of your own mind, and you must write the prescription for yourself. No one is coming to do this for you. You have a choice. Prescribe the regimen or live with the disease. Consistency over intensity. Here is the single biggest mistake people make. They confuse intensity with consistency. They go all in for a week. They work out for 2 hours. They meditate for an hour. They work until midnight. They burn out. They feel like failures. They quit. This is a marathon, not a series of sprints. It is better, far better, to do 1 push-up every day without fail than to do 100 once a month. Why? Because the value is not in the single act. The value is in the repetition. The value is in the neural pathway you are carving, deeper and deeper every single day. That repetitive, consistent action is what builds the robust, automated response. You are building a factory inside your mind, a production line for psychological antibodies. When a threat comes, a rejection, a failure, a cruel comment, you don't have to think. The factory is already running. It automatically produces the response: resilience, focus, resolve. You don't need their permission to build this. You don't need to feel like it. The action itself creates the feeling. You do the push-up and you feel stronger. You write the 1 page and you feel more capable. You take the 10-minute walk and you feel clearer. The feeling follows the action. The action is the discipline. That's the key. Consistency is the engine. Intensity is just the exhaust fumes. Embrace the boring fundamentals. So what goes on the prescription pad? What is this magical medicine? It's not magical. It's boring. The foundation of an unbreakable mind is built on the most boring fundamentals you can imagine: sleep, nutrition, movement, and mindfulness. You roll your eyes. I know you do. I've heard this before, but you haven't done it. You haven't treated these things with the life or death seriousness they require. Neglecting sleep is like a doctor about to perform open-heart surgery, refusing to wash his hands. It is professional malpractice of the self. You are deliberately introducing infection into a sterile environment. 7 to 8 hours, non-negotiable. Eating processed garbage that inflames your body and clouds your mind? That's you sabotaging your own mental clarity. You're pouring sugar into your mental gas tank and wondering why the engine is sputtering. Sitting all day, letting your body atrophy, while your mind spins with anxiety? Movement is not optional. It is the release valve for the pressure cooker of your thoughts. A walk, a run, 5 minutes of stretching. It's a dose of medicine and mindfulness, that 5 minutes of sitting with your own breath, not trying to change anything, just observing. That is you recalibrating your internal compass. It's you remembering who is in charge, master the mundane, and you will achieve the miraculous. It's not about the one heroic epic day. It's about the 1,000 boring, disciplined days that come before it. You have a choice. You can be seduced by the sexy, complicated advanced techniques, or you can master the boring basics and become unstoppable. The choice is yours. Conclusion and transition discipline is not a punishment. It is the prescription you write for your own freedom. It is the daily regimen that grants you immunity from the chaos, the noise, and the doubt. It is the hard, unglamorous work of building a self that cannot be broken. You take the medicine. You do the reps. You master the boring. You do it every day. That is the price of a sovereign mind. Pay it, because when your inner world is disciplined, your outer world becomes clear. And that clarity is your most powerful weapon. In the next chapter, we will sharpen that weapon. We will learn to cut through the noise and hear the only voice that truly matters. Let's get one thing straight right now. No one is coming to save you. No one. Not me. Not this book. Not some enlightened guru on a mountaintop. Not a pill. Not a program. Not a partner. They can point the way. They can offer a map. They can even walk beside you for a while. But they cannot grant you lasting immunity. They cannot bestow upon you a peace that is unshakable. That is not how this works. That is the grand, tempting lie of the modern world. The lie that your salvation, your happiness, your focus is something external, something to be found, bought, or earned from someone else. That ends today. The final truth, the unshakable pillar of everything we've built, is this. You must become the source. You are the only reliable generator of your own peace. You are the sole architect of your own focus. You are the sovereign of your own mind. You are the source, not your circumstances. Not other people's opinions. You. Let that sink in. You are the source. Every time you feel that flicker of anxiety, that pang of insecurity, that pull of distraction, you have a choice. A critical, defining choice. You can look outward for a solution. You can scroll. You can call a friend to complain. You can seek validation. You can numb out. Or you can turn inward. You can activate the system you've built. You can enforce the boundaries. You can curate the information. You can choose a better thought. You have a choice, and that choice is the key. That internal pivot from looking for an external fix to generating an internal solution, that's the key. It's the difference between being a passive victim of your environment and an active creator of your reality. Think of all the time and energy you've wasted waiting for permission. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting for someone to give you the green light to be happy, to be focused, to be at peace. You don't need their permission. You never did. The permission slip you've been waiting for? You are the only one who can sign it. So sign it, now. This isn't some spiritual bypass. This is the ultimate form of discipline. It's not about feeling good. It's about being the source of what is good in your life. It's about taking radical, unflinching responsibility for your internal state, regardless of the external chaos. When you fully embody this, when you truly become the source, something profound shifts. Your mental immune system stops being just a defense mechanism. It becomes your platform for creation. For years, maybe your entire life, you've been in a constant state of defense, fighting off viral thoughts, battling emotional infections, resisting the invasive negativity of other people's agendas. It's exhausting. It leaves no energy for anything else. But a fully functioning immune system doesn't just fight off disease. A healthy body uses its vitality to run, to build, to play, to create. It's the same for your mind. When you are no longer constantly swatting away mental and emotional pests, you free up an immense reservoir of energy and clarity. Suddenly you can build, you can innovate, you can lead, you can pour your focus into your craft, your relationships, your mission. Your immunity is no longer a shield you hide behind. It's the engine of your freedom. It's the stable ground from which you can launch your most ambitious projects. It's the quiet mind from which your best ideas will emerge. Defense was the necessary first step, but creation? Creation is the prize. And to protect that prize, to safeguard this newfound creative power, you must make one final, non-negotiable agreement. An unbreakable contract. Not with me, not with the world, with yourself. This is the unbreakable contract. It's a simple vow, but it is absolute. It states, I will protect my peace at all costs. Read that again. At all costs. This means the cost of a distracting party, the cost of a friendship that drains you, the cost of a news cycle that hijacks your emotions, the cost of a lazy thought that spirals into despair, the cost of your own complacency. This contract is your final, ultimate antibody. It's the master switch that neutralizes any future threat that would dare to challenge your sovereignty. When a new virus appears, a new social trend of outrage, a new demand on your time that doesn't serve you, a new internal narrative of self-doubt, this contract is what activates your entire defense system automatically. You don't debate it. You don't negotiate with the terrorist thought. You remember the contract. I will protect my peace at all costs. And you act. You delete the app. You leave the conversation. You shut down the loop of worry. You enforce the boundary. This contract turns discipline from something you do into something you are. It's not a struggle anymore. It's an identity. You are a person who protects their peace. Period. It's not about being liked. It's about being free. And freedom requires this ruthless, uncompromising commitment to your own inner sanctum. This contract is the core of the entire system. It's the thread that ties every chapter together. From curating your information, to mastering your fears, to enforcing your boundaries. It all serves this one ultimate purpose, to allow you to become the source of your own unshakable immunity. So, I'll ask you directly. Will you sign it? Will you make this promise to yourself right here, right now? Will you stop looking for a savior and decide finally to become your own? The world doesn't need another infected, reactive, distracted mind. It needs sovereign individuals. It needs creators. It needs people who have built an inner citadel so strong that no external storm can breach it. Become that person. Become the source. Slight pause. Tone shifts to a concluding, forward-looking note. You are now the source of your own power, the architect of your own reality. But a powerful mind knows that its greatest strength often lies not in what it says, but in what it holds back. To wield this newfound sovereignty, you must master its most subtle tool. Let's be perfectly clear. The war for your mind is over. You now have the weapon. You are the mental immune system. You diagnose the infection. You stop ingesting the poison. You build your psychological antibodies every single day. You fortify your perimeter with ruthless boundaries. You kill the complainant virus with immediate action. You inoculate yourself with unbreakable focus. You detox your digital world. You cultivate a symbiotic circle. You prescribe your own daily discipline. And you alone become the source. There are no more excuses. There is no more room for weak hosts. The question is no longer if you can be immune. The question is, do you have the will to enforce it? The protocol is live. The system is active. The infection ends the moment you decide it ends. So what's it going to be? A life of constant sickness or a life of unshakable sovereignty? The choice is yours. Execute the protocol.